Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of What's on My Desk. And today I decided to go back to a few Richard Milles and give you a quick update on the market, which is absolutely insane right now. Richard Mille is still trading way over its list value. Richard Mille is still kicking ass. There's no product out there, gazillion year wait list, and if you want something and you want it today, you're prepared to pay 30 to 100% over sticker. Today I brought an RM11 Midnight Fire. I brought an RM1102, which is basically an RM11 but with a GMT functionality. And I brought the RM30. These are the ones that I still feel are a deal in comparison to what is going on in the market today. However, I guarantee you every single one of you is going to say Richard Mille deal in the same sentence should not be said, because at the end of the day, these pieces are all way over $100,000 for just, again, a chronograph, a chronograph GMT, and a plain Jane watch with a power reserve. But that's where Richard Mille set himself on the market. And let me explain why this is a deal, because none of these are actually trading at that 30 to 50 to 100% over list. I'm going to start with the RM11 Midnight Fire, probably my favorite out of the bunch just based on its looks. I've done plenty of Richard Mille reviews and I've talked about the technology that goes in behind them, and I do stand behind the fact that these are really, really well made machines, or what did you say? A racing machine on your wrist, right? That's what Richard Mille says. Midnight Fire, what makes this one different from any other RM11? Obviously the decorations. You have a black PVD titanium case. This is a limited edition of 88 pieces. It was done for the America's Boutique. You have the red on the inside matching the red strap, which is what it comes on. This also looks pretty kick-ass on a black strap. Let me see if I can do this without trying to scratch and kill these watches, because I know you guys are going to comment, Roman, don't kill the watch. You kind of get an idea that it still looks pretty kick-ass on a black strap, right? The retail value of this watch was $160,000. This watch is pre-owned with box and papers. What is it trading at? $160,000 to $165,000 depending on condition. One of the things I wish they would have done is gave it a matching PVD buckle to the case. They didn't, but I do like the fact that the entire watch is sort of blacked out. The buttons, the crown, the rubber piece on the crown is also black. I mean, I think overall aesthetically, it's a great looking RM11. And one of the things I absolutely love about RM11s, especially in titanium, they're so easy to wear. They're so light, they're so comfortable. Everything about this design is ergonomical. That the word, Ian? I don't know. I'm sure you'll make fun of me in this video, but let me throw it on the wrist real quick, just so you guys get an idea what it looks like on my relatively small wrist. Not bad. I actually wore this watch on one of the last episodes, if I remember correctly. You guys saw this already. So again, in relative to today's market and Richard Mille, where things are selling at double its list price, this tends to be a deal, right? You're paying only retail. Wow, isn't that great? Moving on, another watch, which is the RM1102. And again, this is yet another RM11 with the addition of the GMT function. This is the rose gold titanium version. Again, won't get into the details or the nuts and bolts of this watch. I've done it before, but in a nutshell, again, same watch I just showed you, but with a GMT function, which is the button here on the left. I like the rose gold titanium combo. I've always liked the rose gold titanium combo from Richard Mille. I love the fact that when they make a rose gold watch, it doesn't necessarily have to be all rose gold. Deducting from the weight of the watch, although this watch is fairly heavy in comparison to the all titanium piece, but nevertheless, if this was all rose gold, it would be much heavier, because look, size-wise, these are pretty big watches. Very busy dial, right off the bat, you'll notice. And that's one of the downsides, I feel like, of the 02, but nevertheless, it's still a gorgeous watch. It's a classic Richard Mille. From afar, no one will really be able to tell that this is a GMT unless you really look up close. For the most part, people will just think you have an RM11 on your wrist, not recognizing that it is in GMT indeed. Retail price on this watch, $193,000. And you ready for this? Drum roll, please. $175,000 you can buy this watch. And the reason for that is because for some odd reason, people that buy Richard Mille will pay $100-some thousand for a chronograph, yet they won't recognize that by adding a GMT functionality to a watch, it makes it more complicated, and therefore the retail should be a little more expensive. Historically, since this watch has come out, it has traded a little bit under. Even before, when the retail was less, I think originally out of the gate, the retail on the watch was in 160 range. I don't remember exactly. And back then they were selling for like 140, 145. Today it's 175, obviously due to the fact that all Richard Mille models are through the roof, but nevertheless, here's an RM11, mind you. Not a round piece, not a flat piece, not the 16s, not the 33s, none of that stuff, but an RM11 case that you can pick up at a discount. And relative, again, to today's crazy-ass market, this is a deal, right? Last but not least, let's go to RM11's little brother. This is sort of that in-between watch, and I've discussed the RM30 before in the past. This is sort of like that here or there watch. It's a bigger case than the RM10. It is an automatic and power reserve watch, so it's sort of in between chronograph and the plain Jane RM10. And some people call this the poor man's RM11. Some people actually like this watch because it's plain. It's not a chronograph, but yet it's not as plain as the RM10. Again, sort of that in between. But for the most part, this is the more affordable Richard Mille from the lineup. If you can't quite jump up to a RM11, you go with the RM30. RM30 rose gold. And again, same combination of materials, rose gold with the titanium. Absolutely love that. Again, takes away from the weight of the watch, making it a little more comfortable to wear if you want a precious metal, but not the weight that comes behind it. This one came on a red strap for some reason. I'm not sure why, but again, they come on various straps. It can be black, it can be red, it can be white. And that's the thing about Richard Mille's is you can interchange these straps, although they do get pretty expensive, but you can interchange these straps, completely change the look of your watch. If you notice the yellow details on the dial, around where the date is and where it says RM30, you put this watch on a yellow strap, it will look just as good. There are red details on the dial. Put the watch on the red strap, such as this one, looks great. Put on a plain Jane black strap, will look just as good. And last but not least, for summertime, you can put this on a white strap. And the best part is these little crown guards, they're also interchangeable. These little rubber pieces, they actually come off. And you can match the strap to the little ring so the watch doesn't look funky as it does now with the black rubber piece and the red strap, if you ask me. Let's talk money. $122,500, something like that is the retail on this watch. What are they trading at? $130,000. Well, wait a minute, how is this a deal? It's trading over list. Percentage-wise, and again, in comparison to some of the other models that are out there today. And again, I'll mention the other models. The RM1103s, right? The titanium, the rose, the various carbon pieces that they made, right? All the Bubba Watsons, all the crazy TPT pieces that I discussed, like the McLaren watch, or AKA Tony the Tiger watch. They're great! The Jean Todd, AKA the Smurf I dubbed it. I think I did an episode on both of them. I'll ask Liam to link it up below. And again, percentage-wise, this is trading at roughly about, 122 to 130, roughly about 5% over list or slightly over list. But once again, making it a deal out there. I was over at Watchbox today and I had a conversation with him. Where do you think the Richard Mille market is going? When will the bubble burst? A question in everyone's mind. And I've told you guys before, I don't have a glass ball. And the previous episode, when I talked about Richard Mille, I said I don't see it bursting anytime soon. And I still stand true with that statement. However, from a dealer's perspective, I am getting a little bit scared because the prices are climbing through the roof. And it seems like the prices are climbing daily, alongside with Patek and Rolex, obviously. Patek is probably the biggest climber. I feel like Patek prices, especially the steel Nautiluses and Aquanauts, are climbing almost hourly. It's just based on like all the dealer chats that I'm in, and I see people offering these pieces back and forth, dealer to dealer, and it's just like, wait a minute, this watch was $2 an hour ago, now it's $250. What's going on? But with Richard Mille, I feel like we're topping out in the sense that I don't really see those prices going up much further, but nevertheless, there's still no product. If there's no product and there's a demand, the bubble will not burst. If a year from now I see an abundance of Richard Mille product among dealer showcases and it's kind of just sitting there and trading only between dealer to dealer, but yet I see the demand softening from the retail sector, that's when I'll kind of say it's time to panic a little bit and maybe it's time for the dealers to start, dumping them off a little bit so they don't get stuck with expensive inventory over time where the prices are going to drop. But going back to the conversation I had with Brian, we talked about what are the reasons both Patek, Richard Mille, and Rolex market could come down. Number one, an economical reason, much like of that in 2007. Of course, both me and him agreed that that's not happening anytime soon, so we scratched that one off the board. And again, we kind of came to the same conclusion, and that is the fact that it is only going to happen when there's too much product out there. And if there is too much product out there and people are going to stop paying these outrageous prices, slowly but surely they're going to come down, and that could be a snowball effect. Once the demand drops, if I'm someone that's sitting on 100 of these, do the math how much money that is, all of a sudden they stop selling, and I need my money to keep my business turning, I'm going to start lowering prices and trying to get out of them, even at a loss if I have to take that money and to put it into something else. So that's kind of what we agreed upon. We also agreed upon the fact that it's the Chinese market, the mainland China market, that's driving majority of these prices to continue going up, and the demand is still there. They don't care what it costs. They want to have it on their wrist, and they could care less if they're paying double, triple, or quadruple retail. Same goes for Patek, by the way. So that's kind of where we met in regards to agreeing of what's going to happen on the Richard Mille market. Well, guys, that's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on a few Richard Milles and a quick update on the market where they stand. I'm going to ask you guys for a favor because I keep getting comments. Somebody will say something like, well, you really don't have enough subscribers. You have such great content and so on and so forth. So I'm going to ask you for a favor. I'm going to ask you to actually share this video. I know I can almost bet that probably every single one of you uses some sort of social media, be it Instagram story or Instagram or Facebook, et cetera, or Twitter. Copy the link. Click the share button, copy that link, paste it onto your Facebook page or your Instagram story or Instagram account, whatever it might be, and share this video, because by sharing that with your friends that are like-minded, that happen to be into watches, odds are I will get that subscriber count up, and you guys will then say, well, you got enough subscribers to finally match your content. So if you do that for me, I'm pretty sure I'll see my subscriber count spike up after this video airs. This is the part when I say, oh, and if you do that, I'm gonna give you a free t-shirt and a hat and this. I'm not. I'm just asking my viewers for a favor, especially those that feel that my subscriber count should be higher, to share this information with like-minded individuals that you think might enjoy my content. Other than that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber, and I'll see you guys next week for more watch reviews and other videos.